Welcome to the Cookbook Club. Today is our first recipe out of this month's cookbook, Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. We are making battered fried chicken. We're going to be making a quick brine. We're going to be making a batter, and we're going to be frying these babies off. So, is this recipe up to our fried chicken standard? We will see. Welcome to the Amy Learns to Cook Kitchen. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a brine. And the brine helps the juiciness of the chicken. It's going to bring in a little bit of salty taste. It actually is going to bring some moisture into the chicken so it doesn't dry out so much when you cook it. As soon as I said I was making a brine, Mr. You-Know-Who started catching an attitude because he has his brine. So he's like, oh, that's not my brine, right? Calm down.
But that's the beautiful. It's Amy's show. She can do her own brine.
Calm down. I'm not doing my own brine. I'm doing the brine for this recipe. So we have some water. We have some table salt. That's what they call for. And some sugar. That's what they call for. And we're just going to, this is my little bag holder. Thanks to Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie.
And right now, I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to massage this around because I just want that salt to dissolve. Eric's staring at me. You know when someone has their job that they usually do and you come in and you do something different and they just basically sit there and snarl the whole time? I can't say that that's what I'm experiencing right now, but I might be experiencing it. You should see the look on his face.
Is it mixed up?
Every move, he's got an attitude. Let's prepare this chicken. We're going to trim it up and get it ready for the brine. Okay, I'm going to put a little glove action on here. And today's video is featuring my news Willie Crow rocking Santoku. This is sort of like, yeah, I'm going to be cutting bone on one of these with this.
Well, I mean, but is that the one you bought at the sale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think I should cut bone with that? I don't know.
Well, no, it's German. It can tolerate it. If it was your 60 plus hardness, you wouldn't want to, but that's a German knife.
Okay, so it says get some split breasts, bone in, skin on. And it says to get leg quarters, which has the leg and the thigh. We just got thighs. I don't know.
I mean,
what's funny is these weren't the cheap thighs.
No, the leg,
but they're not trimmed very well.
Well, the leg quarters are cheaper. So if you're willing to separate them yourself, you can save money.
But these were more expensive, and they should have this should have been trimmed properly.
Well,
because you're paying for all this.
No, the difference is just the brand. Store brand versus a name brand.
This is like natural or something.
Natural doesn't mean nothing. It's not organic. They use the word natural to fool people. The problem is the store...
Look at all this.
Well...
They should cut this off, not charge you for this.
No.
And use this in ground chicken or something.
Because they'll charge you $5 a pound if you want them to trim it. That's insane.
You're paying for big old hunks of
you're paying...
yuckiness.
The problem is what the store brand, the meat texture, is not all that great. But otherwise, the trimming is just as bad or whatever.
Badder?
Worse.
Okay. And these are split breasts. It's basically a whole breast with the rib meat still attached. It's not, if you wanted a boneless, skinless chicken breast, you just unattach this and take the breast off. But this is one of the things that, I want to get rid of this. I got this.
Well, it's cheaper because you've got the bone and the skin on. If you go with bone and skinless, of course, it'll be more expensive. You're cutting a little rib meat off?
Yeah, I don't want this big sucker on it. I really think I need a different knife.
No. You got German steel. It can tolerate it.
So I got to cut this in half.
Why are you doing that?
That's what it says to do. Take this ugly thing off. Yeah, I don't want to do that with this knife. So I want to kind of change knives because even though this is German steel, it's sharpened like a Santoku, which means it's really thin on that blade. And when I started, I just kind of felt like I needed old road dog, right? So this is an old analog knife. It's like a 10-inch sword, right? And we will see. I want to take this off right here. Yep. There you go. Problem is, I need to rinse that because so we want to cut it crosswise. Whoa! It's a slippery little sucker.
Yeah, just keep your hands out of the way.
Pop that bone. There you go. But I think I hit a vein or something. So let me give this a little water. Because I hit a little vein on both of these. These suckers are big. There's like a big piece of rib on here. This is what I'm taking off.
The recipe calls for 4 pounds of meat. They want 2 pounds of split breast, 2 pounds of leg quarters. The problem is, these are big breasts. They're almost 3 pounds.
These are dinosaurs.
They kind of are.
I'm doing it with it too. So, here we are here. I'm going to cut through the meat, and then I'm to the bone, and I'm going to whack. Whack, whack,
Come
whack.
on, Boo. Show who's boss.
Whack, whack. All right, let me go rinse that. So let me tell you really quick what happened there. When you have, and this is just a quick lesson for us all, right? When you have, this is a German knife, but it is a Santoku, so it's ground thinner and sharper than a regular chef's knife, right? If this was a Japanese steel, a Japanese knife, it would be razor, right? So when I'm going through this, don't think of it as it's not sharp to do the job. It is sharp. Way sharp, too sharp, right? Because when something is really thin, it only takes one clack to it and you will get a chip on it. When you're going through bone, you want a big, robust German knife that is, lower on the Rockwell scale. It's not as thin. It's a bulky sucker.
You want a chef's knife.
Yeah, because when you crank down on that bone, not that this is, if you're going through rib bone or something.
Well, beef.
If you're going through even a chicken bone like that, when I did it with this at first and I hit that bone, I was like, no, I don't want to go there, right? I needed to bring out a robust chef's knife.
Plus, it's an expensive knife.
It's an expensive knife. I didn't want to do that to my bone.
This one's a beater knife.
Yeah, this is a beater. So get you some beaters, because, if you pay
$20,
20-some bucks for, and you brewing it, right?
Okay.
If you spend several $100s on a knife and that happens, you're not going to be happy like you would be. So I'm going to go ahead and stick the rest of this chicken into this here. This has got just remember when you're eating this, it's got a ribby there. So we're going to put this into the refrigerator for about a half hour. We're going to make the batter real quick and put that in the refrigerator as well. So this is an interesting batter because they don't use milk or buttermilk. They say that the milk solids tend to brown too much and results in a softer crust. So we're using flour, cornstarch, equal parts. We're going to whisk in some seasonings, not quite 11 herbs and spices. We got some baking powder. We have salt, obviously. We have black pepper. Ah!
A lot of it.
We have some cayenne and some paprika. No garlic.
Mm.
No granulated
What's
garlic.
up with that, America's Test Kitchen? You don't like garlic?
Gonna go and give this. It's quite a bit of pepper. I wonder what that's gonna leave us. Though the original recipe has quite a bit. It's peppery. Okay, I got it all mixed up. It's kind of a thin batter. Very peppery. But it's going to go into the fridge for like a half hour, and that baking powder will start getting funny.
While the chicken is brining.
Yeah, the chicken's brining. So let me cover this up and throw it in the fridge. Are you all ready to fry some chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give this batter a little whirly bird real quick to bring everything back together. So let's dip and fry here. So we rinsed the chicken, it came out of the brine, and we blotted it dry really well. You don't want it to be wet going in this thing. And we're going to drop the chicken into the batter. And drop the chicken into the batter. This batter is pretty thin. It's kind of weird, but we'll see how it goes. Drain the batter off the chicken. And put the chicken in the oil. We heated it to 350. Drain the batter off the chicken. I don't know if I'm going to have enough batter for all this chicken.
You drain it off properly, you should.
Nah, I don't think it has to do with that. Yeesh. So this has got to fry for like 15 minutes or until it reaches at least 165. Okay, so I think I got one piece here that's got to come out like immediately. Ooh, that looks like pretty good chicken there.
Well, the color's nice. Of course, I have to disclose something.
What?
I burnt my tongue fishing out the little crispies that are floating in the grease.
You were licking the
No,
crispy?
I get them with your little thing, but I don't let them cool enough.
I don't think this one's quite done yet. That one needs a little more. These chickens are looking pretty good so far. Okay, so we have more chicken to fry, but I wanted to serve up some pieces now while they're nice and crispy. Look at that crisp on that chicken.
Yeah, I give it 100 on this.
Holy Toledo. Not sure how it's going to taste, but
Thank you,
Colonel Jr.
Colonel S.
Okay, the crispy is definitely there if you guys want to hear it.
Okay, boo-boo.
Okay. So, can I cut it? You can really hear him crunching. Oh yeah. That there is amazing.
Juicy chicken.
Juicy chicken.
The salt does give it flavor.
It does kind of have original recipe flavor to it.
Yeah, it's not boring.
This right here is a winner.
Mm-hmm.
This chicken is a winner.
It's very juicy.
It's amazing. Wow. I don't think we need to go out to that chicken place anymore.
All right.
We don't go there very often, but wow. Wow. Dude, it's hot. I keep tearing it up like I'm a crazy person.
Well, yeah, I'm ripping it open and there's a lot of steam coming off of it. The cast iron does a good job with heat retention. We maintain it in a 325 oil temp throughout the whole cook.
I never eat chicken skin, but this is amazing.
Yeah.
Cook's Country Cookbook. This recipe is off the chart.
Yeah.
Absolutely off the chart. I've never made fried chicken this good before at home.
Yeah.
So, get this book just for this recipe.
Yeah.
It's worth it. This is a winner. This is a winner recipe. I hope you enjoy this. I'll put links in the description to this cookbook. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.